All right, so we've started the recording. So welcome for those of you guys who are joining in live, or if you're watching on the replay, welcome to your holiday sales funnel office hour. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Krista Jennings, and for the past 7 years, I've been working with businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, particularly around how to optimize their sales funnels. If you don't know what a sales funnel is, think of it as like your customer journey, right? Think about it as the way that people first hear about your brand to the first time that they buy from you and then beyond. Like not just thinking about, okay, you want to get them to buy once. Like we're all about like in my wheelhouse, we're all about like thinking about long-term growth and sustainability in your business. So it's not just about having someone buy from you once, but you want them to become repeat clients and customers of your business, regardless of what you're selling. Even if you pivot or if you change direction, you want to ensure that you're consistently building something that's going to be sustainable, and it's not just about getting those first sales. And it's good and it's exciting to get those first sales, but think about how it is that you can leverage that for the long haul as well. So for those of you guys who are just joining in, welcome, appreciate you being here. So let me go ahead and share screen so you can see my slides, and then we can get started. Right, so just kind of move this out of the way. All right, can you guys still see my screen? Let me know if you can still see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, so you're here because you want to leverage your holiday marketing, right? And a lot of times people, and I want you to also think for a second, I want you to pause and think about everything that you thought about your holiday campaign or what it is that you had planned. Put a pause on that and just really look at this through fresh lens, right? So before we get into the slides in depth, I want to ask you something. If I were to send you 10, no, say if I were to send you 1,000 qualified leads to your sales funnel tomorrow, would you be able to convert them, or would they just sit in your email sequence without anything happening? So I want you to be really honest with yourself. And if you want to share in the chat box, um, feel free to, but just really think about that for yourself right now, right? Because what this session is really about, it's not about just getting more traffic or running more ads. It's really about alignment. And today I'll show you how to build a funnel that reflects how people actually buy. And if you want to go deeper after this call, of course, I'll give you an opportunity to book a revenue multiplier audit where we'll map out and fix your full system together. But let's get started. So when it comes on to a sales funnel that works in the converts in that will convert in the real world, I want you to think about how your funnel, how your one, your marketing, how it is that you're showing up right now, right? So think about your funnel as this framework, right? And I really want you to gain a really clear understanding of how you're showing up, like how you're marketing. Think about the checkpoints and the touch points that you're having. So if your funnel doesn't convert, it's not because people don't care about what it is that you have to offer. It's not because they don't like your offer. It's more aligned with how it is that you're selling, right? And the goal is to get really clear on how people buy, right? So it's not about like you can have the most amazing content, and I don't for a second think that you don't have amazing content. Your content is amazing, but you have to make sure that you have a very clear pathway for how people want to buy. And if you don't have a clear pathway to doing so, then you're going to find it really, really hard to be able to build something that's sustainable. And you're going to find that you're constantly resetting every single month, right? So on the right here, you see your sales funnel checklist. Like those are some things that you want to ensure that you have in place in your sales funnel, right? So I also wanted to like do a quick touch point with you guys and a quick check-in. Um, I want you to also share in the chat, where are you losing people right now? Is it like your sales page? Is it in your email flow or your email sequence? Is it at the checkout? Or do you think it's at like your content, like the level of your content? So It could be the content that you're sharing on social media. It could also be the content that's within your emails as well, right? So think about it from that standpoint. And I want you to be really honest with yourself. Like, I'm not going to judge you. I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can. So I want you to also share that in the chat. And after we'll go through all of these things and ensure that you're putting yourself in the position to actually build a funnel that's going to convert in the real world, right? So I had a client that spent $20,000 a month on ads, right? $20,000 is a pretty substantial amount of money. And here's the thing, from she's spending $20,000 a month on ads, traffic was really strong. Like she was getting a lot of leads coming in. But what was happening is that 20 she wasn't able to recoup that $20,000 a month, right? So for a few months, she was spending $20,000 a month. So think about how much money that is, right? So the traffic was strong, so she was getting leads coming in, but where the drop off was or where it was actually impacting her sales conversions is that the post click when people would click they it like it just wasn't going anywhere, right? Like it was very generic, was very general information, and that destroyed her conversions. So when she came to me, I said, okay, let's really map out the real buyer journey. And just by mapping out the real buyer journey, she was able to increase her revenue by 42%. So the same spend, right? The same spend, the same offer, just a different flow. So remember, you're creating your sales funnel for the people who are going to buy from you, not for you, right? Like it's not about you, it's about them. And if you give more people what it is that they want, you in return will get exactly what it is that you want, right? So that's how you need to look at your sales funnel a as the buyer journey, right? So mapping it out in a way that's going to meet people exactly where it is that they are. And if you've been posting on social media, or you've been emailing your list, or you've been running some ads, maybe you have a smaller budget for ads, which is fine, but you're finding that revenue feels very inconsistent, you're not alone. It's totally fine. I've also been there as well too. So I'm going to share with you some things that what's causing that, how to fix it, and how to make your funnel produce more consistent revenue as well, right? So let's move on. So how funnels actually work is this framework of the three, I call them the three M's. I like to like abbreviate things as a really good way to remember it. So how funnels actually work is looking at your marketing, looking at your messaging, and looking at how you monetize. So every stage moves buyers from curiosity to conviction. So every funnel runs on three systems: marketing, messaging, and monetization. So your marketing is what's going to build visibility. Your messaging is what's going to build that trust, and your monetization is going to turn that belief into action, right? But that monetization has to say that it has to confirm that your offer or what it is that you have to offer is the natural next step and it actually will work for them. So regardless of what you're selling, right? It has to make sense to those people, right? So most people don't move in a straight line, right? And that's why a lot of people are a little hesitant about building sales funnels, but it's because you don't understand how to build it in a way that actually is based off of how people are buying. So people don't move in a straight line, they loop. So they notice your brand, and maybe they see you on Threads, they see you on TikTok, they see you on LinkedIn, they see you on Facebook, wherever it is, they notice you, they compare you, then they forget about you. And if your sales funnel is built properly, they'll return. So your funnel ultimately should be guiding those loops, right? And if it breaks that loop, then you're going to find that you're having a lot of drop-offs in your conversions. So it's your job to guide them through making the very next decision as an easy one. So ask yourself right now, where are people falling off? Is it that they're falling off um, in the visibility? And it's highly unlikely that you're they're dropping off in the visibility, because a lot of us are able to garner attention. We are able to post content that's going to capture attention, but it's what we do with that attention after. So what's the messaging and the continuity beyond that visibility? So looking at the messaging and then looking at the conversions. But then also within that, looking at the messaging and the ability to ultimately convert, where does your sequence build confidence, or is it just like a checkbox? Like, where does it build confidence? People need to feel confident in what it is that you have to offer, right? So if you want to know exactly the breaks are, we'll talk about it a little bit more later on, but also, as I had mentioned earlier, I'll give you an opportunity to look into the revenue multiplier audit, and we can go through that and see if that's something that would help you, and I'm sure it would. So let's move into what a funnel actually, like what's costing your funnel, right? Like let's look at what's costing your funnel. It's the fact that you're not being able to nurture leads. It's the fact that there is mixed messaging and the fact that you're over discounting. So now that the fact that we're coming to the end of the year and a lot of people are building these holiday campaigns, they're thinking, okay, like, okay, I need to get serious, right? Let me put some discounts out. And if you're building your holiday campaign and you're starting with a discount, you're setting up yourself for major failure. And here's why I say this. Because if you are not able to nurture people, if your messaging is off or you're sending mixed messages, then throwing discounts doesn't fix anything. It actually, you think that it would, but it actually doesn't. And these are things that I've I've lived or my lived experiences, but also things that I've seen clients do and it doesn't work, right? So I'm here to tell you, I'm pulling back the curtain and showing you exactly what works and what doesn't work. So most funnels, like I said, it doesn't fail at the offer. Like what it is that you have to offer, it's amazing. Like 9 out of 10 times what you have to offer is an amazing offer. It's an amazing product, it's an amazing service. But it failed a lot of times your funnel is failing at the middle because of course, like I mentioned, no nurture means that leads go cold because there's no sequence that's going to continue to build belief. Then there's mixed messaging, means that at every stage, it sounds disconnected. They're like, okay, is this really for me? I don't know. And then if people are confused, then you lose them, right? Confused people never buy. If someone's confused, they're just not going to buy, right? People need to feel confident in their buying decision. And of course, over discounting means that buyers stop responding unless you cut the price. And you don't want that to be the premise of your business as well, right? You want to ensure that you're building something that's sustainable, something that's profitable, something that you can grow, you can scale. And here's the thing, you're not going to be able to scale anything until you're able to build something that's solid, something that is has some level of predictability, something that has solid messaging, and something that has a solid marketing plan behind it as well, right? So it's not about discounting or over discounting. Like that's not going to get people to buy. So that's how I really need you to look at it from those lenses as well, right? But here's exactly what a sales funnel actually looks like. It actually looks like a flywheel. So it starts with attraction, it starts with connection, and then there's a conversion. So attraction is what's going to bring people in. Connection is what's going to build that trust through stories, through proof, and the conversation that you're having. And conversion is what happens when people believe enough to buy, right? So it's buyers don't remember how I said earlier, buyers don't move in a straight line, right? So look at it as a cycle of touch points that guide people. People pause, they think, and they come back to you, right? And if you want a really good way to remember this, like I said, I like to abbreviate things, ACC. So attraction, connection, conversion. So the attraction is what's going to bring people in. The connection is what's going to build trust through a series of stories, proof, and conversation. And then the conversion is where that's going to happen when they can see that this will work for them too, and then they will buy, right? People don't buy things that they're not sure of, right? And here's the thing, even if someone, kind of gets through and they buy because they're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try this out. You have to remember there's something called buyer's remorse, and you don't want people to have that when it comes onto your business as well, right? So every part of your flywheel needs to feel like the very next thing that makes sense, right? So the stronger the connection, the easier it is for you to have those conversions, and the stronger your conversions, it's easier for you to attract people again and again, right? So ask yourself this question. Which part of the flywheel feels like the weakest right now? Is it the attraction? Is it the connection, or is it the conversion? Right? Take a second and think about that for a second. Do your campaigns feel like a flow, or do you feel like you're resetting every month? Do you feel as if like, okay, it's a new month, you're literally starting from scratch. You're like, okay, what kind of content should I create? How do I get people to buy? Like if are you only creating content around a launch? Like Where's there continuity with your brand? And then are and in asking that as well, are you building a funnel or are you building a flywheel? Okay, there's a question that came in. New month, new content. Okay. All right. I see some comments coming, but we're gonna get into it in a bit. Let me just go through the content real quick and then we'll open up the floor for you to share what's going on. So this is how you need to look at your funnel, right? Look at it as like a flywheel. So no longer like the old way of like marketing. A lot of people have to also know that they need to change and move with the new rhythm of things, right? So the way how we market it in 2020 is different from how we market it in 2022 and now in 2020, the end of 2025. There's a drastic difference, right? People are more informed as buyers. People are actually doing a lot of the research. So when they reach out to you or they come to your website or to your sales page, whatever the case is, they already know exactly what they want, right? And they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So you want to ensure, and they're silent too, right? They're silently doing it. They might not comment on your post on social media. They might be opening your emails, like every email that you send out, they're opening those emails, they're reading it, they're reading it in totality. They probably even share it with a friend, they even save it, like it's something that they keep referencing, right? So you need to ensure that you're creating content in a way that makes it easier for people to engage with you as well, right? So look at it as a flywheel and not a series of steps. So when your funnel reflects the buyer psychology, you have to realize that that's where the revenue falls, right? Like that's where your revenue actually can either make it or break it, right? So how are you going to ensure that your funnel or your flywheel mirrors how people buy? And if you're able to do this, you put yourself in a really great position to be able to consistently build something that's going to be sustainable, but also something that's profitable, right? Like we're in business to make money, we're in business to have an impact, we're in business to really create a connection with people that is going to be around, that connection is going to be around for a very long time, right? So understanding your buyer psychology is going to be absolutely important here, right? So when you understand how people buy, it makes it so much easier for you to build something that's sustainable. So one of the things that happens is that your ad spend stretches further because you're not losing buyers halfway through. Sales actually become a little bit more predictable because your process is built on trust. And retention increases because buyers feel seen and they don't feel pushed. People like to buy, they don't like to be sold to. So one of my clients a few months ago, we rebuilt her funnel using this behavioral map. And this is the same behavioral map that I use in my sales funnel audit. So if you're interested in that, we'll talk about that later on. But instead of chasing new leads every month, she was able to re-engage 37% of past customers with just a simple nurture sequence that reminded them why they bought in the first place. So here's the thing, she got more repeat sales and she didn't spend any money on new ads. So I'm going to ask you this. How much revenue could you earn from buyers who've already bought from you already? How much revenue could you earn from buyers who've already bought from you before? And where does your funnel stop? The conversation instead of deepening it. And if you paused your ads or your content plan for 30 days, would your funnel still be able to sell? Is it set up to still sell? So when you apply this to your business and really think about how this impacts your business, this is not just about for like Black Friday, the holiday campaign. You're thinking about how you're going to set up your business to have a system that's going to drive revenue well into 2026 and beyond, right? But before we get into the live reviews, I want to invite you to take a closer look at your sales funnel. And I mentioned earlier that um, I would give you the opportunity to take a look at the revenue multiplier audit. This is ultimately an opportunity for you and I to work together where we'll map out your full buyer journey, refine your copy and your structure, and rebuild your nurture sequence, but also build that 30-day optimization plan. If you want to take a look at that, let me go ahead and put that link in the chat box. And and if you have any, give you a minute to take a look at that. And if you have any questions, let me know. And we can get into after looking into your funnel, like what you brought for me to give you some feedback on. So I'll give you a moment to take a look at the sales funnel, um, the revenue multiplier audit. And if you have any questions, let me know. But we'll also get into what you brought for me to take a look at. Okay, so let me go back. Hey, Sierra, thanks for joining. Hi, Chanel. Not sure for content. I doubt the marketing content actually reach my local customers. For emails, 50% of the audience open them. I usually have to follow up directly to close them. So are you saying, so Chanel, if you can come off mic or you or comment in the let me know in the chat box, are you saying that your open rate on your emails is 50%? Is that what you're saying? And how do you know it's 50%? So you're
Yeah.
saying sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so my open rate is about 50%. I can check because I send my emails through Kit and it shows me like the open rate. So that's how I know.
Okay, so when you say, and then how big is your list? You don't have to give me the exact number, but like give me a range.
Less than 50.
Okay, so it's still really small.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're getting, so that's a pretty good open rate. What kind of content are you sharing?
So I give updates along the journey, like as I am planning. So, for example, we just hit a big milestone. So I share a lot of reflection pieces. I ask them questions as to what they want to see. And some of them will message me directly about my emails.
Mhm.
I get feedback from that. And then closer into the holiday season, like, or within my emails, I'll start dropping little hints, like I can't wait to share what's coming soon, or the season is fastly approaching, and I'm working on that behind the scenes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Okay, can you remind me, sorry, can you remind me what your business is again?
Baker's Law. So we specialize in seasonal dessert boxes, right? So each season is a different dessert box for gifting and for celebrating the season, essentially.
Okay, and how are you getting most of your customers right now?
It's a mixture, actually. So recently I got some from Instagram,
Mhm.
but I would say the majority is through in-person interactions, like when I meet people at markets or even at my workplace, like stuff like that.
Okay. 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 So what do you think is where do you think that people are falling off? Do you think that they're falling off where? Like is it like before they're supposed to buy? Like I mean, like what does their buyer journey even look like too?
Yeah, so that's why I commented. I honestly don't know where they're falling off because, like, for Instagram, I don't know if the content, because when I make content, I'm designing it for certain people that I want to see it, but I don't know if they actually see it. And the people who I have on Instagram are much more, how do I say this? Actually, no, like my Instagram audience and my email audience are completely different, right?
Okay. Pause. Have you mapped out your customer journey?
Have I mapped out my customer journey? No.
Okay, you need to map out your customer journey because regardless of what platform those people are interacting with you on, if you map out the customer journey, there's only like a tweak that you would have to make for the platform. But if you map out your customer journey in entirety, like, okay, this is from the first time that they interact with you to the first time that they purchase from you and so on and so forth, that you need to map that out. Like right now what it sounds like you're doing is like you're trying to figure out like how to create content to engage with these people here there, like that's not sustainable.
Okay.
So I would highly suggest that you even take a look at the audit. I can actually pull up the page as well, um, quickly if anyone had any questions. But let me see here. What was okay? So Sierra said new month, new content. Okay, so you need to create your content plan, Sierra. I don't know if you're still there, but you need to create your content plan so that you can build something that's sustainable. So think about like um what kind of offers do you want to provide throughout the year? So I know as someone who's been in business for a little while, like I know what months I'm going to make the most amount of money because like I've been able to study my customers and my clients' buying journey. And of course I have like different like two different segments of clients. So I have one segment of clients that are like small business owners and people who are entrepreneurs, and then I have another segment where like they're more like the actual company, the organization. So like you have to map out your customer journey. If you don't map out your customer journey, you're going to find next year you're doing the same thing, and that's not sustainable. So you have to map out your customer journey. So let me just quickly share the page what I just put in the chat box. So this is the link. You can just go ahead and click on it, and it breaks down the different types of revenue multipliers there are. So there's like a base one. So there's a base audit, then there's the audit and the review, and then there's the full funnel support. But regardless of which one you choose, I'm going to ensure that you have your customer journey mapped out. If you don't have your customer journey mapped out, you're going to find it really hard to be able to build something that's sustainable and strong as well. So let's see what else. Can funnels be effective with social media posts with no advertising dollars? They can be. Is it Valise? It can be, but here's the thing you have to know is that um you have to really know who it is that you're selling to. So it goes back to being able to understand who your customers are, right? So if you want to like, I don't know if you're still there, Valise, but if you can share like what your business is and like who your customers are, I can give you a little bit more insight on that. If you want to come off mic or let me know in the chat box.
Yeah, Krista, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Valise Smith. I'm the founder and CEO of Tried and True Financial Services, where our core mission is educating service-based entrepreneurs on
Mhm.
the ABCs of finance. And
Okay.
so we lean in on advisory, bookkeeping, and compliance. And
Okay.
so the advisory piece is kind of like year-round support with tax planning, tax strategy, things like that.
Right.
Bookkeeping, obviously, just to make sure that they know their numbers and they can produce the critical financial statements. And then compliance is the tax prep piece, just making sure that they stay up to date with filing their tax forms and things that they need. And
Mhm.
so my ideal client is typically, as I mentioned, service-based, but typically coaches, consultants, therapists, attorneys, people like that,
Mhm.
6 to 7 figure earners that need help just managing their cash flow.
Right.
And so LinkedIn is our primary platform that we like to, um, talk to our
Right.
target audience on. So,
Right.
and did I answer your question? Did I leave anything out?
No, no. So your question is, can funnels be effective with social media posts with no advertising? No, it can be if you understand the kind of content that those people are going to be interacting with. So have you fully mapped out your customer journey?
Um, Probably not as I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Yes.
Okay, so and I'm gonna give you my complete honesty,
Oh, I appreciate it.
until you map that out, you're
Yeah.
going to be spinning your wheels, to be honest.
Yeah.
So you have to get really clear on, you know, all the touch points. So remember how, or I don't know if you came in when you came in, but you see that flywheel I had shown earlier, like the attraction,
Yes.
the connection, the convert. Like you need to understand what are the touch points happening there. And if you would like to have like a call for me to go through that with you, feel free to send me a message and we can set that up as well.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Anyone else? Is there anything else that you guys would like to share? We still have like I plotted out like for this to go until 12. So we still have time. So if you have anything else that you'd like for me to share, to discuss, if you want to show me something specific, like you want to show me a piece of content and I can give you some feedback on it. If you have if you have something you have planned for the holiday, like if you have a holiday campaign that you're working on and you would like some feedback on that, I would be more than happy to give you some insights on that as well. So it's entirely up to you. Anything else? So, okay, I'll pose this question. How many of you are doing a holiday campaign this year? Let's start there. How many of you are doing a holiday campaign? Chanel said, okay, go ahead. You raise your hand, go ahead. You want to tell me about it? Tell me a little bit about your holiday campaign.
Oh, I was just answering. But honestly, I literally just confirmed it.
Okay, so what are
Um,
your ideas? What are your ideas around your holiday campaign?
so it's gonna be similar to what I just offered for the fall season, which was a box of specialty fall inspired cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do take a similar approach for the winter season and for the holiday season that's approaching. So it's I haven't decided on the flavors or anything like that, or even
Right.
who I'm talking to yet. Um, but I know the because it's gonna follow a similar format as what we did, it's gonna be offered in boxes of 3, 6, and 12, just for variety.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of my funnel so
Mm-hmm.
far, just on a broad scale, I was thinking about having November as essentially like an awareness month, just educating my audience, teaching them about different concepts, different fillings, different like baking terminology, just stuff like that. So
Question,
that
question. I'm going to pause you there for a second. Does your customers care about any of that stuff you just told me?
they interact with it.
Yeah, but do they like, are they people who want to become bakers or are they people who are just going to buy from you?
People who are going to buy from me.
Okay, so yeah, if like I'm just thinking, okay, if I was to buy from you, like I'd be curious but like I mean like that curiosity is only like surface deep, right?
Okay.
No, it's a question. I don't know. Like I'm asking you.
Okay, well, so based on what I've posted recently, I find that the educational content
Mhm.
performs better.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I just gathered from that okay, when I teach people, because people don't know what certain stuff are, like,
Right.
when I say, oh, brown butter,
Mhm.
dulce de leche, they're like, oh, sounds fancy,
Yeah,
but
what
you know
is
what that
that?
is, yeah, type of
Right.
thing, right?
Right.
Um, so putting out that type of content, people do engage with that more.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, so people want to learn, I guess. So if that's where it's at, that's why I was gonna have more of a thorough breakdown in November where I touch on
Right.
um, different terminologies and different things.
Right.
Then in December, more of a shift where it's more like a consideration phase, you know?
What would it be consideration? Would it be buying phase?
Actually considering the offer, right? Because I'm not actually launching until December 1st or early December.
So I want you to look at like the calendar and your timeline. So when you're launching something, you want to give yourself like at least like 6 to 8 weeks of like prep, but also prepping them as well to buy. So you have to look at it from that standpoint because it's not just like a magical effect, right? Like it has to be something that happens like with continuum
Mhm.
and it has to be smooth. If it's not smooth, then it just feels kind of like you're running around and not sure entirely, but like you do need to map out your customer journey. So if you need help with that as well, let me know.
Sure.
Sounds good. Hey, Sarah, you want to go ahead? You can feel free to unmute your mic. Are you there? Hmm, I don't know if she stepped away.
Me, I'm here.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
got a lot going on. As you know, my son, we're getting ready for his birthday.
Oh,
Um,
happy
hey,
birthday.
thank you, Karen. So really quickly, I don't have it totally together, but this is pushing me to want to get it together, of course, which is why I'm here.
Mhm.
What I typically do annually has like two things. Um, and I did miss a bit, so I'm sorry.
No worries.
But what I typically do is called coaching gifts for Christmas. And that's usually like a live stream. And I interview at least three people. And so while I interview them, I do some like hot seat coaching on live. And then we kind of collectively gift out some coaching gifts.
Okay.
Um, so I typically do that. And then in connection to that, I usually give out a seat to my planning session that I do at the end of the year. One second, hon. Okay.
Mhm.
And so that is kind of in connection to what I do for the holidays. when it's like Black Friday, I haven't really been successful with Black Friday sales. So I've kind of been going back and forth with if I want to do anything for Black Friday because I know it starts Black Friday and beyond, like the
Right.
holiday. I know.
Hmm.
Usually I've tried to do like some type of Kaden, you have water, son. I usually try to do some type of digital product sale. I've even like here you go, honey. I've even like, I've done a special price for a session, but it's just honestly I've in the past for me, I'm not saying
Hmm.
it doesn't work. Not saying it's nothing I can't tweak,
Right.
but when I've done that, it's been a lot of setup and then it hasn't
Produced.
performed
Okay,
for me.
so what does your like launch campaign or your timeline look like? Is it like are you prepping them? Or are you like priming them to
Probably not.
okay, so
That's
if you're just
honestly
coming, here's the thing. If you're just coming out and saying, "Hey, it's Black Friday, buy this," then they're like, right? Like it has to have a lead up, right? So like if you're going to do something, there needs to be a lead up to it. If you're not going to do something specifically for like Black Friday, but you're thinking, okay,
something for the end of the year, my
the end of
plan
the
or something.
right, then right now you need to put in place that framework, right? And understand like how that person buys. Because then I know you said you weren't here for the whole thing, but like understanding how that person buys, looking at your flywheel. So looking at the attraction point, looking at the connection point, and then looking at ways in which you're going to convert them based off of like how they buy.
Yes, okay. I'm definitely gonna look into that. Um, this is good. But yeah, I would like to focus on my planning session because that has Caden. He was not talking to me until I went off mute. Any moms, you know how it goes. But that has really been very it has gotten engagement. It was is what I was gonna say, and I think that it also aligns with my new goal
Okay.
of like I'm really focused on filling my new membership, and so you know what I mean. So I feel like that can be a holiday campaign while still keeping the main thing.
Right.
So
And here's the thing too. You don't have like I had a client last year that she did a holiday campaign and there was no discounts and she made money.
yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah,
So it may not be like a discount, but it may be that you're giving more value to the
yeah.
offer as opposed to feeling like, okay, I'm going to do a discounted thing. And I mean, like I've done both and they do work. So it's like, okay, I've done where like I've done a session for 50% off and my calendar is full. And then I've done where it's like, okay, well, this is the rate for a session or for like an audit or something like that. And it was like for a mini audit. And then I just gave additional like resources and templates and it's still people still bought. So you just have to look at how people buy and looking at your connection points. Like are you like how often are you guys also emailing your email list as well too? Like that's also something you have to take into consideration. So hopefully that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? I want to hear from you guys as well later on right now, like Chanel, Felice. Like how often are you emailing your email list?
For me, it would be like 2 to 3 times a week.
That's good. Okay. Are you doing a very specific date?
Yeah, like it's usually like the start of the week, like Monday, Wednesday, and like Friday, or sometimes Sunday, depending on if there's a holiday. The dates will vary, but usually 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, I would suggest like sticking to specific dates regardless if it's a holiday or not. Because then it also trains people to be on the lookout for your emails as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so like for me, I know that I send out emails Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And
Mm,
also test out different times as well. So I know emails that are sent out on Mondays usually don't do as well. But I know that between like the Tuesday to Thursday framework, like that timeline is usually really good. I found that so I did an A/B testing last month because I send out emails every Sunday as well. And I found I tested to see, okay, I'll send out emails at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sundays, and the other week sending it out at 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. Eastern, which is when I normally would be sending emails. And I just wanted to test to see, and the 7 p.m. like did really, really well as I thought it would do. So it's just testing different things. Like even if something works for a long time, it doesn't hurt to test and see what other, times you're going to see like really good results or see the results that you're going to get as well. So, and then also look at your click-through rate. So I think it's important. It's one thing to look at your open rates, but also look at your click-through rates, and then always look at like your open rate in relation to your click-through rate and your click-through rate in relation to your conversion rate as well. So
Okay.
those are some things to do. Felice, as you said, you sent once per week for now. Okay, and what day of the week are you sending out those emails?
Usually like on a Thursday.
Okay, what time?
Um, Midday, sometimes morning, sometimes midday,
Okay, and what are your open rates like?
around 40%, in the 40s.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And then are you tracking your click-through rates as well?
Yeah, because right now, I think I heard somebody say earlier, I'm using Kit as well.
Me
And
too.
so it gives you all of those stats.
Mhm.
Just going off the top of my head, click-through rates, like as far as open.
No, so there's open rate. So when they actually open the email, click-through rate is like if you have something in the email that they can click on.
Oh, right, right.
What's that? So like, oh, here's the thing, open rates can be high. Like I've seen people who have amazing open rates, but they can't convert for the life of them, right? So they're
Hmm.
able to get people's attention, they just can't keep that continuing and going. And remember how I said earlier, it's really important for you to master the attraction, the connection, and the conversion points. And the only way for you to master that is for you to map out your customer journey. But you can have amazing open rates, which is great. But then when you have an email that has something for people to click on,
Yes.
are people clicking on that? And what's the rate that they're clicking on? And then in relation to like how many of those people are actually converting into paying clients and customers.
Yeah, I don't know those off the top of my head. Obviously the click rate is a little bit lower than
Yes, it
that,
will. It,
you
it
know.
naturally will be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even the conversion rate also will be lower as well. So like the more things that people do, the
Hmm.
lower and the lower it is. So if you have really right now, so I'll say this, if you have really, really strong open rates, that's a good thing. But you want to double down and make sure that you have really strong click-through rates as well.
Okay.
Okay. Any,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anyone else? And does anyone have any questions about the sales funnel audit as well? I'll put the link again in the chat if anyone has any questions about that. Any question? Anything else before we'll probably go ahead and wrap up shortly. Any other questions? So, Valise, are you doing a holiday campaign? I don't know if I asked you that already.
Um, I would like to. I don't know if I'm prepared
Okay,
enough.
what would it look like?
Um, Holiday campaign for me would be obviously getting people prepared to sign up for the my subscription packages
Mhm.
for the new year.
Okay. And
Um,
when would you like, what does that entail?
so that entails them getting the tax planning support throughout the year. It includes tax prep. So it includes some bookkeeping support, not full service bookkeeping, but definitely bookkeeping support. And then I have three, but I'm thinking about condensing it down to two packages. But it would include either quarterly, bi-monthly, or monthly meetings.
Okay. Okay. So do you have those packages all like ready and fleshed out already?
Yeah, they're up on my website.
Do you want me to give you some more feedback on it? You guys use up the time, like use up the time. Like
I
I carved
mean,
out the time. So if you want to,
yeah, I do. I'm already planning to make some changes to it, but I'll put my website here.
okay, I can take a look at it. and give me some feedback.
Mm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I think like why do you feel as if you don't have enough time to launch it? Like what would be like the open window for them to register for it or to sign up for it?
I don't have my funnel structure in place yet.
Okay. Do you need help with that?
Yes,
Okay. So here I am. Um,
that's what I'm here for.
okay. Did you put, I didn't see, sorry, I didn't see the link come through. Did you?
I'm, I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm trying to get the exact page so you
Okay.
don't have to go surfing. And
Okay.
my computer is acting funny right now for some reason. But I'll just put
Yeah, if you could
the
put
straight link, and it's under the advisory plans tab.
okay, so let's pull it up here. Let's see. You said the advisory tab,
Hmm.
advisory plans. Okay. All right. And where are you based, if you don't mind me asking?
Detroit, Michigan, metropolitan Detroit area.
Cool. Um, okay. So which of these are, so which would, so these are all monthly? Okay, well, the first three are monthly.
Yeah, yes. So these are the first three are the packages, and the fee is a monthly fee. And then as you see down on the bullets, the
Mm-hmm.
first one is with quarterly planning tips. The
Mm-hmm.
265 comes with bi-monthly, and then 365 monthly.
Okay.
But I just talked to a friend yesterday and she was like, well, first of all, like just buying psychology, you need rounded prices like 99, 97 instead of the
Not
165.
necessarily. Like, because
Okay.
people are like beyond that. Like, even like when
Yeah.
people put things like 997, come on, like we know it's $1,000. Like,
Yeah.
like I think that kind of mindset has kind of worn off on people.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, but I mean, if you find that that's going to produce for you, then by all means. Um,
Hmm.
as it pertains to the offers, um, they may need a little bit more unpacking.
Detail.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
to lead to them, so like, okay, I'll give you an example. So like even when I shared earlier, like the revenue multiplier, you saw three things, right? So when you put more than three things, sometimes it confuses people, right? So you want to make it
Hmm.
really simple and easy for people to select something.
Select. Yeah. Okay. So this last one is not necessarily advisory plan. This is for tax resolution. So
Right.
maybe I should put this someplace else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Highly
Okay.
recommend that. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? And then what would the funnel look like for that?
Um, so that means my customer journey, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, and I'm fleshing a lot of things out right now, but I am in the process of writing a book, bookkeeping for business owners,
Hmm.
and it's set to release in January
Okay.
2026. And so that's another thing. But I do have like a financial toolkit, which is free, like checklists that
Okay.
people can use.
Hmm.
So that can be part of it. But ultimately, what I would like to have built out for my customer journey is obviously the free downloads that's available on the website. The book is going to be there's going to be a big push behind the book, right? And then there's also some free resources, excuse me, that's in the book. That'll be some free downloads. And then from that is courses, some online courses that I'm want to build out.
Right. So right now the priority then is to get, because here's what's going to make the most sense is for you to get people to be in that subscription model ASAP. But the
Hmm.
reason that that's going to bring in reoccurring revenue, right?
Right.
So that right now, I think that there's still an opportunity for you to drive traffic to that. so that people and like build out like a campaign around that for people to sign up for that before the end of the year. But like I said,
Okay.
if you want some support on that, you can book a call as well. And also put the link for you guys if you're interested in like booking a call to see like how I can support you, maybe not necessarily an audit, but like something else in terms of your funnel. I'll just put the link as well in the chat box. Did you have any other questions? We have another 9 minutes or so left. Any other questions?
Do you have any recommendations or preferences with regard to um, funnel software?
It doesn't matter, to be honest. It like here's the thing. You can use your email marketing platform and build out your entire funnel with like some like with like Zapier or something like that to make automation work. At the end of the day, it's all about automation, right? And having touch points that make sense. So you can use Kit to build out your funnel. Like believe it or not, like 90% of my funnel is built off of Kit and of course with some APIs and things like that. But it just really boils down to understanding your customer journey, like I mentioned earlier, and mapping that out clearly. Like if you don't map out your customer journey very clearly, you're going to find it very hard to, because you're always going to be thinking like, okay, it's a new month. Let me come up with new content. Okay, what should I create, right? But it's like if you really understand who it is that you're selling to like the core, coming up with content becomes very simple and becomes something that's very easy as well.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else? Anyone else before we go ahead and wrap up? Um, yeah, so there was nothing here that I missed. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I would leave it at that. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and insightful. I really enjoyed doing this, of course. And if you have any questions, like don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you'd like to, I do have some time early next week. Like plot out so that any one of you who are on the call, if you have any questions or you want me to go over anything with you more in depth, I'd be happy to do so. I'm going to go ahead and end the call here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday and enjoy your rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye.
You, bye.
Bye.